South Africans will continue to pay unaffordable prices for our foods.
What it requires then is for this entire country, for all adults to say, you know what? We are putting the children first.
In recent years in South Africa, the number of children with not enough food to eat has risen sharply. Hunger is causing a third of all children's deaths here. In 2023, Bhekisisa published an opinion piece on the crisis by the D.G. Murray Trust, an organization that funds people and also has its own projects.
For the first time, there is clear acknowledgement of the need of government to reduce nutritional stunting.
David Harrison is a medical doctor and the CEO.
5 or 6 years ago, the D.G. Murray Trust looked at developing services for young children, and there was a glaring gap. The science was obvious, and that is that our children in South Africa are nutritionally stunted. Not all of them are getting enough food to eat. That started a journey that's included building a national campaign called Grow Great.
3 in 10 kids in South Africa are stunted before their 5th birthday because they eat too little of the right food. That means they're too short for their age and develop slower than other children. In its Bhekisisa op-ed, the D.G. Murray Trust delved into a solution. 10 Best Buys, a simple idea that would see the government and the food industry team up to cut the cost of 10 staple foods by up to 20%. Manufacturers and sellers drop prices on milk powder, eggs, dried beans and lentils, soya mince, fortified maize meal, rice, peanut butter and tinned sardines. Government matches the discount, civil society spreads the word. The result? People can afford healthier food. Bhekisisa's goal is to use journalism to make sure our government rolls out evidence-based health and social justice policies.
The whole nutrition problem is difficult, and that's why we wrote that op-ed piece.
We don't view health as a medical issue only. We view it as a social justice issue. And that is why we include coverage of social justice issues such as food, hunger, food insecurity, because those are issues which are social determinants of health.
Harrison's piece wasn't just about making headlines. It was about driving change through a well-proven solution. Our editors work with authors to create strong news angles and to translate science and policy into something easy to understand. That way, radio and TV stations pick up on our stories, and so do policymaker bodies such as the National Economic Development and Labour Council, NEDLAC, that contacted Harrison after reading his op-ed.
Both the presidency and by NEDLAC found it really appealing. They saw that this was an opportunity to try and respond to the issue of nutrition. So we initiated discussions with Treasury, with the presidency. This idea very quickly moved into a proposal that was formulated and written into the Accelerated Poverty Alleviation Plan of the presidency. NEDLAC had set up a task team to review affordability of food. They saw this as an opportunity to engage with industry. The process continued for almost 9 months, and then increasingly industry backed off.
Each of Bhekisisa's stories is normally published 7 times, once on our website and then by our 6 mainstream publication partners.
So when we work with our op-ed authors, we help them to find data to evaluate solutions that they propose. In other words, already tried out solutions that there's data available for in other parts of the country or in other countries that could show local policymakers who read that piece why a certain solution may be challenging to implement or how to prepare to implement it, but also why that solution may be worthwhile to invest in.
Our editing process is intensive and time-consuming, but worth every minute.
I do find it difficult to have my work edited so extensively, but it was a far better product as a consequence. I haven't experienced that since a couple of op-ed pieces written in New York Times. And I think that the response and the reaction of the media, the degree to which it was picked up and run with, I think reflects that. It was very interesting for me to see that this was picked up by the presidency, that they were listening, they were looking.
For Bhekisisa, journalism must be measured by its impact. What matters is what happens next. A year later, Harrison challenged politicians ahead of the 2024 national election in another Bhekisisa op-ed, and months later, he took on an industry still slow to change.
We are convinced that if we sustain this and if we retain the support of our other social partners and with government, we will in fact be able to overcome some of the resistance in time. Industry cannot simply sit back and watch the food affordability crisis play out. They know that, and if this is not the solution, they need to come with other options to the table.
So until ideas and science grow into policies, Bhekisisa will watch this space.